Students, and welcome to the class of personality development and communication skills. So in previous class we have started to study about types of learning process or theories of learning process, and today we will continue those types of learning processes. So the next type of learning process is classical conditioning learning theory, or it is also called as Pavlov's classical conditioning theory. So, this theory was proposed by Ivan Petrovich, a Russian scientist, and another person called Pavlov. So, they investigated a digestive system of dogs with meat powder and measured the amount of saliva produced. So, dogs began to salivate even before the meat was presented, and they concluded that the dogs were conditioned to respond to the feeder through the process of classical conditioning. So, even though the dog has seen meat powder or meat for the first time without even tasting about it, dog responds or it salivates. So, even before eating or even before it has tasted the meat powder, so dog was designed, or the function of dog is to salivate whenever it sees meat or it sees food. This is not acquired knowledge, it is an inert knowledge, or it is an inert learning, that dogs, whenever dog sees food, it responds or it salivates. Clear? So what does this theory states? So, classical conditioning is a type of learning in which a neutral stimulus brings a response. So, a neutral stimulus, a neutral condition also brings a response after it is associated with a stimulus that naturally brings about those responses. So, whenever we watch a horror movie or something which is scary, whenever we watch or hear something scary, we start fearing, right? Fear occurs within us. So this is a response which comes from neutral stimulus. Even though we are not aware of it, or we have not at all studied about the factors which were scary, or even though we don't know, we just respond that it is fearful, or we get feared. So in this case, dogs were used for experimentation to study about classical conditioning theory. So whenever food was presented in front of dog, it started to salivate even before it was conditioned, or even before it was aware of it. So even though the dog was presented food for the first time, it started to salivate, or it recognized that it is the food and it has to eat it, and which leads it to salivate. Even though the dog was unaware of it, it started to salivate. So it grows on as the repetitions occur, or the things repeatedly occur. So for the first time, if the dog is served food, it started to salivate, and the process continues. So if the dog is presented with the food second time, so then also it starts to salivate. So to test the dog, they just rang the bell. But dog did not salivate when the bell was rung in front of it. But the next time food was served along with ringing bell. So dog started to respond. So it was an unconditioned response. So dog started to salivate, or it came forward to eat the food. So the dog realized that the ringing of bell is an indication for it to eat food. So whenever the bell was, so after continuous repetition of this situation, so dog realized that it should move forward, or it should go and eat food whenever the bell rings. So the dog started to respond to the sound of bell and realized that it should go and eat food whenever the bell rings. Listening is another term for learning. So after many repetitions, dog learned that so whenever the bell rings, it has to go and eat food. So in order to understand this concept in still more clear way, so researchers Watson and Renner tested the idea that fear could be acquired through classical conditioning. So they experimented a little 11 months baby named Albert with the sound of laboratory white rat, which caused fear in Albert. So whenever Albert heard the noise of rat, he started fearing. So fear was caused in Albert. So this theory says that learning by conditioning is learning to respond to a stimulus or to a substitute stimulus other than original stimulus. For example, you might not go to a dentist as often you should because of the fear associated with dentist. Even though you are never treated under dentist, or even though you have never visited dentist, you still fear to visit dentist because it causes pain. So even though you have never experienced it, you still understand that the treatment which will be given by dentist will causes pain. So here the sight of a dentist brings about a feeling of pain. So this is known as classical conditioning. So any stimulus or any response that is unconditioned means unlearned or before learning has taken place. So before you learn that, the situation has already taken place. So there are some terms in classical conditioning theory. That is neutral stimulus. Neutral stimulus means which is prior to condition which would evoke no response. So neutral response or stimulus means, so whenever without showing food in front of dog, whenever you ring the bell, dog will never respond to it. So this is known as neutral stimulus. So the dog doesn't know that you are indicating or you are using bell to call it to come and eat food. So it doesn't know that, so it will not respond. So next is unconditional stimulus. So unconditional stimulus means a response which produces or reflexes a response, such as the meat in Pavlov's experiment. So it brings a stimulus in a brings a response in a stimulus. So whenever you bring meat in front of dog, it responds. It tries to eat it or it salivates. Clear? Next is unconditioned response. Unconditioned response means a unlearned response created by unconditioned stimulus. Example, the dog involuntarily salivated at meat. So without understanding or without knowing, so dog started to salivate in front of meat. So without its realization. Next is association. Association is a connection between two events which results in learning. So here two events are meat brought in front of dog and the dog and the salivation of dog. So it created a connection between both the things. Clear? Next, conditioned stimulus. After the neutral stimulus has been paired with unconditioned stimulus, many times the neutral stimulus becomes the conditioned stimulus. For example, repetition of giving food and ringing bell to the dog in front of dog. Next is conditioned response. It means a learned response to a conditioned stimulus. Example, dog learns to salivate at meat. So whenever you bring meat in front of dog, it starts to salivate, and whenever you ring the bell and serve food to the dog, it responds and starts to eat. Clear? This is all about classical conditioning theory or classical conditioning learning theory. Next type of learning is learning by insight. So this kind of learning is simple stimulus and response process. So whenever you're faced with a such situation or a condition, you respond according to the condition. So this is a situation, this is a type of learning where you understand the situation and think about the solutions and arrives at a conclusion. So insight means awareness of the result of performing an act. So for example, insight means, to jump off the roof, if you want to jump from a building, so insight is an awareness where it tells you about the result. So it will tell you that if you fall from the roof, you might die or you might get yourself injured. So the insight means awareness of the consequences of performing particular act. So it will tell you the result of doing some activity. Clear? So it involves cognition or process of knowledge. So learning by insight has 4 stages. The first one is preparation, so which involves formulating the problem and gaining information about it. It is a process in which you try to understand the problem when you are unable to solve the problem and try to gather information about it. Next is incubation, when you leave the problem for a while and consider other things, which means you pause the learning activity and stops trying to complete the task. So where you take a pause. Next is insight or illumination. It involves insight into the problem. It involves looking into the problem after the learner is and the learner is suddenly able to carry out the task following the confident recognition of the solution. And at this stage, the learner will understand the problem and brings the solution. Next stage is verification, when you test and evaluate possible solution. You may go back to the incubation or preparation stage, so where you solve the problem. So to study this theory, a chimpanzee was used to demonstrate this theory. So its name was Sultan. Here researchers involved a chimpanzee called Sultan to demonstrate this theory. So the researcher locked or placed Sultan in a cage and placed banana outside the cage. So Sultan keeps on trying to catch the banana. And short bamboo stick was placed in the cage where Sultan was kept. So using that bamboo stick, Sultan tried to catch the banana. First it tried with one arm, and later it used stick. Next, Sultan became frustrated and stopped trying to catch the banana, and later it began playing with the stick and realized to join sticks. So it understood the concept that it has to join the sticks to make it longer. So, and realized that it can catch the banana after making the stick longer and catch the banana and ate it. So the researcher realized that a flash of insight which can lead Sultan to a solution. So first it tried to reach it with one arm. Later it took one piece of stick and tried to catch it with it. Later it stopped and it paused its activity, and later suddenly it got an insight that it can join those sticks to catch the banana. So insight is a quick or sudden flash of solution or realization of the result. It brings sudden solutions to your mind. So it helps you to realize, understand the situation and think of the solution. For example, imagine you are walking on a road or and suddenly a snake comes towards you. So what will you do or how will you react? So at that moment, suddenly your insight tells you to respond in a way which is more beneficial to you. So it might tell you to stay quiet and calm and do not panic, or it may guide you to run away from that place, right? So insight means it is a sudden realization or sudden arrival at the solution. So these are the theories of learning process. So learning is never a stagnant process. So learning is a dynamic and continuous process which leads you to understand or which might build your concept. Learning is very important because it changes our self, or it changes the self concept. Imagine what if we did not learn to walk, to talk, to read, to write, or to eat food. So imagine what would have happened to us if we did not learn anything or any movements of our body, or if we did not learn to eat. So what would be the result? So therefore, at every stage of life, we keep on learning something. So when we were born, we started to make movements with our arms and legs. Next, movements with our eyes. So we kept on learning till from our birth, right? So therefore, learning is very important. So many people think that learning is just education. No, learning is not only just gaining education. Learning is a process where we update ourselves, or we improve ourselves, or we keep on developing ourselves. So every stage or every activity we do involves learning. So we learn to sit, we learn to walk, we learn to talk, we learn to react to certain emotions, and we learn to we behave ourselves. So we keep on learning. So learning is a process which never ends and which keeps on developing us. Thank you.